Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video, we're going to be continuing on what we started last week. Last week, we were working on our New York Institute of Photography photo assignment, and we've already got 2 of the 4 images done. So this week, what we're going to be working on, if you remember, we need to do one more with using depth of field, or aperture, to create a real shallow depth of field so that we can isolate the subject from the background. And then our other is going to be doing a stop motion. The day started out raining, but we're still going to work anyways. So let's get to the video. Okay guys, so here we are. What I've got set up behind me, and you can't really see it yet, but you can kind of see it if I get my big head out of the way. And I'll show you here in a second. But we've got a Rebel XT set up, and we've got a calla lily right in front of us. And then as you can see, that's kind of a wooden background back behind it. I like the rustic wood stuff, but what we're going to try to do in this photo is we're going to try to blur out that background so that you're drawn more towards the actual subject, which is the calla lily. So that's what we're working on first. Now guys, again, this is a real easy, fun project that you can do to work on your own little. All right, let's see here. I'm going to lower the camera down just a little bit. I'm trying to avoid, and I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there is, basically I've got a little 1-inch board here, and then I've got a clamp. I did put blue tape around this flower because what happens, these clamps are so heavy duty, it just smashes it and then it'll just fall over. So a little bit of painter's tape, real easy, real simple setup here. And we're going to take a handful of photos just using the natural light here in the barn. We could get a little bit fancy, and I may throw up a reflector because I do have a light over here to my left-hand side. So technically we've got a light over here on this side that's shining down this direction. We got a little bit of light coming from that window. Looks like the clouds are breaking up now, which is nice. And then this should all kind of blur out in the background, all that rough looking wood. And we're going to shoot it at a really low f-stop. And we're going to go down to, let's start out with f2.0. And with the light in here, my light meter is showing it to be around 40, which would be kind of slow for handheld. And let's shoot it again. It is blurring out the background nicely, but not as much as I would like. So I think maybe what we could do, we can do one of two things. We can either bring the flower a little bit closer to us. We'll start out with that. And let's move the camera up a little bit. And that's what I was afraid of. You got this real fine line between what it will focus on and what it won't. You get too close and you're almost too close. And that's blurring it nicely, guys. I think what I want to do, let's flip this over and come in here and shoot it at a more of a portrait style shot. Let's see how close we can get to it. Yeah, that was too much. It won't focus. Slide this back a little bit. That's still a little too much. Slide it basically back to where we started. Oh, I like the looks of that. There's a little bit of a shadow coming across here, and that's really, I like how that's looking. I think we can make it a little bit better. Let me make that over here a little more shadowy. That will almost, and all this is, guys, it's just a piece of white foam cord and black foam core. So I'm putting the black side down to kind of shade that part just a little bit more, the backdrop, if you will. And we're gonna get kind of fancy here, keeping it simple, but we're gonna put a little bit of fill right here on the flower, and then we're gonna suck some of those highlights out of the backdrop. And I can't see. We're just experimenting and having fun, but I think that's gonna look cool. Oh yeah, that's gonna look great. All right, guys, so just to recap, we're gonna keep this video short. Next week, we're gonna do the stop motion. We're not gonna be able to fit it into this video. Today's Valentine's Day, and me and my wife have a wonderful evening planned, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. But real quickly, just to recap, when you're using your aperture, you're also affecting your depth of field. We were using a really, really shallow depth of field. The camera was really close to this flower. Bear in mind, if you were trying to shoot 3 flowers, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'll bring it up here. Let's just say you're trying to shoot these 3 flowers. If you're trying to shoot all 3 flowers, you're gonna have to up your depth of field to get all 3 of them in focus. Guys, bear in mind that the f2.0 has a very, very shallow depth of field. It's working good on this, but it's a small flower. If you were trying to shoot something like these 3 flowers and keep all 3 of them in focus, you're gonna have to change your aperture value, and say instead of f2, you might have to end up you may need to go up to f9, f16, somewhere in there. So if you guys remember from the last week's video, if you go down to, let's just say f16, that 1/16 of a cup of water from our original video that we did on aperture, your shutter speed's going to be really, really slow. Now, one thing that I want to point out real quickly, and guys, you've probably already figured this out, we could change our ISO to allow more light in. The problem when shooting like the Digital Rebel, if you get up around ISO 400, you're pushing the max capabilities of this particular camera because it's older technology. So in my mind, it makes more sense to shoot, especially still life, that it's not moving. So it's no big deal if you have to use a really slow shutter speed. Just make sure that you're using your tripod. And what I'm trying to express to you more than anything is know your limitations of your camera. This older technology, once you start getting up past the ISO 400, your images get real grainy real quick. So to keep it simple and to keep our picture pretty, in my mind, I'd rather shoot that low ISO, which is ISO 100. And we're, like I say, if we're doing the 3 flowers, you're going to have to go from like f2 to like f16. When you do that, you're also going to have to, if you want your background out of focus, you're going to have to move everything a lot further back. Keep your flowers close to the camera, but move your background back, because f16 you got a much greater depth of field. So not only are you affecting your depth of field of your flowers in front, you're also going to be affecting how blurry the background is. So part of this entire lesson on today of isolation, I purposely picked out one flower on purpose so that we could isolate it from the background in a small space. You could do the same thing with a portrait. If you're shooting your granddaughter or your daughter or doing high school senior photos or whatever else, pull the subject off the background a little bit, keep them closer to your camera, and you're going to blow out the background, and it's going to make a beautiful portrait. We did the same thing today, trying to keep the nature and outdoor and wildlife photography all in the same style, if you will. So instead of using a person, I used a flower, and plus a flower isn't going to move if you're using a real low shutter speed. So again, guys, we appreciate your likes, comments, and subscribes. May you have a blessed week, and let's go shoot some stuff.